gosh!
Everything on, almost everything on in one go.
Well, that was stripped back. That was literally old school guitar, amplifier. I used one thing there where I just used the boost side of the Dane for one part of the solo, and the rest of it was it.
Can't beat the boost side of the Dane, innit?
And we're here today, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Andertons TV.
Yes, hello.
With myself, the captain, and the beautiful, talented, and
if I was here today, I would ask temperamental.
I was trying to think of. I was going to say something. I was going to say something rude, but then I didn't.
Yeah, but that's fine. If I was here today, I would ask you all to please like this video and subscribe.
You should,
because that was really nice. And if you want to watch any other video, you know what, Lee? I read on the comment section recently that people are going, "Why have you not made some amp demos recently?"
Did they?
Yeah. And I thought, hey, here we go.
Well,
take it away, my friends.
We are always on the search for tone. This particular search has taken us all the way to Pete's birthplace.
Danish Pete from Holland.
Danish Pete from Holland, yes. All the way from Holland. Hook Amplifiers.
Hook, line and sinker. That's
now,
Danish
I can't really claim a great deal of credit for discovering these, because if you're familiar with this thing called US Tubus, you'll know that two of the greatest guitar players on US Tubus, Mr. Paul Davids and Mr. Dan Steinhardt, are both Hook users.
Yeah.
And have both done videos of these amplifiers over the last year or so. So I just thought, well, if it's good enough for them, especially Dan, we all know that Dan is like Mr. Tone.
He is, doesn't play anything that doesn't hook him in.
Because tone, hashtag, whatever it is. So anyway, we checked them out. And they're very cool. So it's a very small company, as you'd imagine, boutique little manufacturer of guitar amplifiers, but with some clever features. So it's not just another expensive boutique valve amplifier. It's an expensive boutique valve amplifier with clever stuff in it.
Yeah. If you want.
Yeah, that's true. So if you don't like clever stuff, hey, look, I've even left my sunglasses here. So if you're a valve amp connoisseur, and all of the wizardry and automation and IRs and load boxes and everything doesn't interest you, and you just want something super, super simple, you can opt to have the little Lenny with none of the magic built in, or just the magic of valves.
Yeah.
And that's a 30 watt 6L6 loaded amplifier, single channel.
Yep.
Absolute monster. Essentially, that's what you were hearing.
With a real reverb tank in here,
A real reverb.
It's like saying Volkswagen for me. It doesn't work. But Rabir likes it.
And that's what Pete was basically playing into
great.
the WGS 112 loaded speaker cabinet.
Warehouse.
Actually, in all fairness, although visually you can't tell the difference, actually that's this one behind me.
It also comes in a combo, in a 112 combo over here, so you get it.
It's like a tool combo, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it actually looks like a Morgan PR12, doesn't it? It's got that kind of look to it.
The magic, in terms of technological magic in the Hook stuff, comes either or both, depending on your preference. With so the amp that Pete was using has a load box in it and an IR loader as well.
Yeah.
So
it's all on the back, and we'll get a sweep of that. So
yes, and we're all going to hear that later.
Yeah.
As does the Wizard, also have that IR loader in it. I'm not sure, is it an option on the combo, or is that just...
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, we'll confirm that, Mr. Editor, on screen. Either it's not an option on the combo, or it is an option on the combo.
Honeymoon phase.
With 16 IRs available from a rotary knob on the back, or obviously like an unlimited number of IRs, obviously via the USB loader. Then you get to the Wizard. And the Wizard starts to, this is full black magic.
When he pulls his sleeves up.
Yeah. So the Wizard is a 45 watt EL34 loaded valve amplifier with automation built in. And I can't say automation, I can only say automation. Because what you're going to see as I, choose different settings on here is wizardry! Oh, crikey, Mo, that was loud, wasn't it? Yeah. So what the idea of the Wizard is, the circuit is as valve can be, other than the reverb bit, which is digital, but it's all valve, and then the clever automation just moves the knob to the position that you want it to be in. So what you've actually got in here is this sense of a 2-channel amplifier with essentially one voiced cleaner and one voiced dirty. An A and a B switch per amplifier, which again, you can just have your 2 different settings on here, your 2 different sets of knobs. You've then got various voice options to change the structure of each channel, so we can go between more of an AC inspired kind of tone stack versus a Blackface Deluxe type tone stack, or on the dirty channel we can go between like a vintage or a modern tone stack. We've got again the EQ and deep controls. So ultimately what you do is you create the best sounding valve amp sound that you can possibly create. And then you've got 16 different locations that you can recall, ideally from a MIDI foot controller, MIDI on the back. I mean, I haven't, as you probably know, MIDI's not my forte.
It's not his middle name.
I am, not my middle name, no. My middle name's much worse than that. My middle name is USB.
If it only was MIDI, you would be quite happy.
So yeah, obviously the other way you do it is you move the rotary knob around and then you just push the button in.
Oh, and they move the knob. I love it. It's so clever. And this is all valve inside it. There's no digital. There's digital reverb in there, right? This one has got a proper tank.
So the moving stuff. If you're familiar with the Chase Bliss Automate-Tone, it's the same kind of idea. So it's all analog signal path circuitry, everything like that, but with clever automation, MIDI automation, so that as you literally go, I want to change sounds, it just redials the knobs.
Hello.
So we'll go through this in a bit more depth in a minute, but I think for now, we'll just let Peter, I've talked too much, we'll let Peter tell you about the little Lenny, because this is moving some serious air out of a relatively little box.
Yeah, super simple amp, as Lee said, 6L6s, 3 12X7s, and then it's got a 12X7T something for
inverter.
for the spring.
Oh wow!
And then it's got another one for the phase inverter as well. So it's got 5 in there. There's a lot of tubes.
More tubes than the underground.
Or valves, for those of you who are... Is that the other side or is that here?
No, we're supposed to say valves over here. In fact, we get the occasional angry British person that says, please stop calling them tubes. You're British, please say valve.
Okay, let's so glass things that are different sizes inside here. And super simple front, on, off, standby, red switch lights,
so technical.
Reverb here. I'm just going to look in at reverb, volume, bass, middle, treble, bright switch, and then a gain knob. That's it.
That's it. That's all you need,
on the back. Yeah, it's all you need. It
sounds good. That's all you need.
And it sounds great, and it's got a tiny little reverb tank which is attached to the front here, which I've never seen before.
Really?
Yeah. So it's on the front.
Didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. So it's mounted up like that. Yeah. So So basically, it sounds like this. That is essentially everything on 12. Now I'm going to take the bright switch down. So it gets definitely that...
it's a darker tone. Isn't that like the 2 channels on a deluxe?
I would say it's almost like you put
channel 1 hasn't got the bright cap and channel 2 has. Or
yeah, so you can do. It just sounds great. I'm playing the purple telly, of course. Let's just try the reverb, see what it does. So that's full on the reverb. It sounds great, doesn't it? So let's see. So the volume. See, everything is 12 now. Let's just try the bass. It does spacey things.
It does a lot.
It does a lot. Let's do mids.
It's massively more powerful than like a Fender or a Marshall EQ.
Yeah, exactly. It
Way
does
more.
mids a lot. And here is the treble.
Turn it down!
That's quite trebly. So it does treble things. And then turn down the volume and go for a little bit
crank it, baby.
Crank the gain. Oh, you know what? Let's go all the way. That's not a lot, actually.
No, it's not
I was
a lot.
surprised. I'm surprised.
I mean, you
thought it was.
might get a bit more juice out of it if you had some humbuckers.
Well, you know what, Lee? Now you say that, I do have some humbuckers.
He's going in. He's going in. Oh, he's pulled out the Murphy.
I pull out the big gun here. Let's see what that does.
It's still not that gainy, you know?
It's not, but... Push the mids. Sometimes the mids will give a little bit... That's a good sound.
I love it!
Just gonna check something. Is there a...
I absolutely...
And that's it. There's no up and down, medium, low gain mode, 7 watts.
Because why would you want any less volume out of that?
This is perfect.
Funnily enough, I'll come back to that. I've got a little quote from Dan. I asked Dan Steinhardt how he was getting on with his amp and why he liked it and all that kind of stuff. And he talks about the master volume.
And this is the one he has, right?
I think he's got the little Lenny, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but before you talk about Dan Steinhardt...
Put some gain, let's boost it, baby.
Let's see, so I've got a protein
from Brown Amplification.
Brown Amplification.
Yes! Yes!
I'm in love, man.
It's really loud, man.
Well,
it's not
it is loud here, but... With the Cali 76. Man, I like that. Can I just try the Dane?
I've got to just ask, has it got an effects loop?
Yes. I mean, that sounds great.
I mean, Pete's quite old school.
No, he doesn't.
It doesn't have an effects loop.
No.
Well, there you are.
It doesn't have an effects loop. That doesn't have an effects loop.
That's probably why Pete likes it the most, because he's always a bit anti-effects loop.
I'm not anti-effects loop, Lee.
Just chuck it all in the front. That doesn't know.
Oh, so it doesn't have an effects loop. So
does this? This does. Actually, sorry, excuse my... Yes, it does have an effects loop.
Does this one not have an effects loop?
No, well, but that's proper. It's old school.
Hang on.
That's what you like.
It doesn't have an effects loop. That is pretty impressive. I mean, oh, wow. I mean, that's... I like it. I like it a lot.
I must point out as well, apologies for those of you with OCD watching this. You can have what you really want with the little Lenny.
Tell me what you want.
If you like the black and white kind of stripy thing, is this cabinet over here, because then you've got the matching grill cloth and the matching stripes on the cabinet.
Yeah.
You can, if you would prefer, have the whole thing in this livery. So you can have a brown front and just a cream cab if you want to. Same speaker inside it, just a visual thang.
I actually first saw these when I was touring in Germany ages and ages and ages ago.
Really?
But I never got to plug into them. Everyone was going, oh, you should check these amps out, and they're really good. And they are really busy.
They're really good. They're very, very busy at the moment. I think the Wizard has taken off like a storm, so there's quite long lead times. But hey, it is what it is. What you get when you want to, you want to go and support these kind of very small boutique manufacturers. So look, that's the little Lenny.
Yes.
We're not gonna play the combo because we're assuming we're going to get much the same sounds out of it, and it's really just a question of portability as to which you would prefer. I would like, Pete, for you to take over playing duties on the Wizard whilst
I can certainly do that.
I just focus on knob duties. This, by the way, is a Heritage 530. It's a little permanent resident now in our video room, and I like it very much. That's what I meant. I meant 535.
Yeah, it's 530 hanging on the wall there.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm plugged into your Wizard.
Yes, so again, now we do have an effects loop, but there's nothing plugged into it here. And I'm just going to take you through the basic tones. And then once we've done that, we'll do the jam out using the IRs only. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So it doesn't really matter which one of these 16 lights that I'm on, because you can store any setting into any channel. So, really, I guess the Wizard is aimed at someone who's gone down the gig rig route or the ES5, ES8 route, or maybe they've got some other kind of MIDI controller.
Yeah.
And maybe, I suppose in fairness, it's if you really weren't into that and you just thought, wow, what an amazing amplifier, and I like the idea of multi-channel. Of course, there is no dedicated hook foot switch for this, so you would just have to go and buy something like a Behringer MIDI foot controller or an ES5 from any kind of foot control with MIDI on it, basically. Anyway, right, so let's just go through the basic sounds. I'm going to start with channel 1 with none of the EQ settings on. I'm going to set everything flat. And interestingly, what you can feel when you adjust
yeah, I was just going to ask.
Yeah, when you adjust the knobs that have got the automation on them, there's a slight sense of, I wouldn't say they're clicking as they go round, but there's a sense that the knob has got, there's some sort of resistance. Yes, the master knob doesn't have that because the master knob is the one that's not programmable.
Hello, master knob.
Yes, that will always, hello, master knob. That will always be the one that is just wherever you set it.
Yeah. Otherwise, you could go into your friend's amps and then set the master really loud on one of the presets.
So here we are. You'll notice as soon as I adjust anything, the red preset light starts to flash to say, oh, you've changed something here. So that's a little, anyway, I'll come back to that in a minute. So let's just go through the different voicings. This is with the deep voicing off and the EQ light off. I believe this is an AC style tone stack. Yeah. If I hit this, I'll add the second EQ mode. Which is allegedly a little bit more blackface voiced. Yeah. I've then got a deep switch back on the first EQ mode.
Oh, that sounds great.
So I like the deep switch, and then I can have the deep switch on the second EQ mode. You'll like this. Oh. I can then also elect how much reverb I want on each of the 16 different presets. I simply hit the reverb button, have lots, bit less. Whatever you want, and then that's it. So it'll just remember that. Still a bit too much, isn't it? I'll just take it down a little bit.
And that's the digital reverb, yeah?
Digital reverb.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the all the different buttons you can press for the clean channel. Obviously, I can adjust the settings, which I suppose I probably should do, actually, yes. Let's just try it with a bit more headroom, maybe, like this.
great sounding amp.
I'm kind of feeling like that's a good point to read you out Dan's actual text to me that I basically said to Dan earlier on, I'm doing a video on the hook amps later, and I know you've got one. Do you mind telling me what it was you liked about it so I can quote you in the video? And he said, of course. His exact words, he said, for him it sits somewhere between a Blackface and a more boutique, stronger, mid-range, Dumble-inspired amplifier.
Yeah.
And I think that was quite a good... The reason I wanted to read that there is because people talk about Dumbles in this way that it's just got unlimited kind of headroom. So when you whack it, you just get this like, whoa, it jumps out and smashes you in the face and then kind of jumps back in again as you want to go quiet again, as opposed to some more perhaps forgiving amplifiers that maybe have a bit more natural compression in and don't do that.
But people that talk about Dumble amps, if they haven't played it, then it's different. I mean, I remember Mick Taylor said he played a Dumble and it's not really what you think, and you have to... Anyway, whatever.
Anyway, and then Dan goes on to say the cleans are as you would expect, but the mid-range seems to be just in the right place. And he's a real, like, I think that's why he's ended up with things like Voxes and Matchlesses and things. He likes that kind of mid-range
Pokes
thing.
right through in the mix.
He also says it has a really great master volume, so you can set it just on the edge of breakup with the preamp, and then literally the master volume is very consistent whether you're using it at high volume or low volume.
Well, so he's got the Wizard then. I thought I saw him play one of these, but well, maybe he's got both.
That's absolutely true. We should have done our research a bit more on this. Maybe he's got the Wizard. Anyway, he said, I did a video with it called Phrase It Like Gilmore.
Yeah.
And that's what he used it. He said it took pedals really well. And that was, thank you very much, Dan, for your kind words.
You are a legend.
Yes, apologies for having absolutely no idea which one of these amplifiers you actually own.
I think he maybe
he's got both.
Because it makes sense when he's talking about the master and the volume.
Am I getting confused between the audio kitchen?
Nope.
Doesn't he got the little... That as well. He's got that as well. Maybe
that's the big one. No. He's got all of it, man. He's got all of it.
He's got a lot. Massive new house in Beverly Hills.
He's now got hair implants as well.
Absolutely, yeah. His own private
he's got
jet
a big beard.
Just to drive from Swindon down to the studio every day.
He got Elon Musk to build a tunnel underneath from Beverly Hills, from Swindon to the pedal show.
Is doing very well.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right, let's move on over to channel... Oh no, we weren't. We were doing sounds, weren't we? So let's try and gain up the first channel a little bit. Flipping heck, man, it's loud. I'm gonna take the deep control off because it's a bit overwhelming.
Now. Yeah. That's the Vox, isn't it? Oh, that kind of... Wow.
Oh, crikey, O'Reilly. Literally just melted my brain. Let's see how this master volume works. I mean, that's the holy grail again of valve amplifiers, isn't it? Can it sound really good, really low?
I should have cheated you there and turned my guitar down. What's going on? I think it's different when you go from a really nice sound that goes right in your face and then you turn it down.
It is really funny. Pete and I were ranting, not in a video, just ranting about...
We never do that.
The obsession everybody's got with attenuators and all the load boxes and, you know, and actually we were just playing with Pete's DP40 and just having the master volume really low and ending up going... It just gets really quiet and still sounds perfectly fine.
Yeah, even with the Kraken, when you turn... If you just have a master volume on anything, it's like you don't need an antenna, just turn the master volume down.
We digress.
No,
so
we don't.
It sounds fine. I think you're right. There's a sense of... you lose all the excitement of a speaker going mad and just it being loud, don't you? But it still sounds fine. Anyway, so...
That's wicked, man. What a great album.
All the gain... Everything at 2 o'clock, Mick Taylor tone, what's happening here?
Is that what he does?
I mean, loads of really good tones just from channel 1. And of course, don't forget, you can have your first 5 presets, if you wanted to, could all just be different variants of channel 1, if you wanted to. Channel 2, you'll see some red lights here now introduce the vintage and the modern lights come on. So they don't apply to channel 1, only to channel 2. Let's put everything back to sort of halfway. Maybe we'll start with the gain even a bit lower and see what tones we get here. Right, I'm going to now crank up the ganache a bit. Let's go to the Les Paul.
Shall we?
Why not? I mean, I'm loving that Telecaster. It doesn't.
It is just every time it comes out, it just shines.
It does.
It's so special. It is special. No special.
Right, so a little bit more ganache, and I'll just do the same kind of. Oh my life! I can tell this is going to sound. Mate, this is not a 1x12 cabinet. This is a 4x12 that someone's put in a time shrinking machine and.
A time shrinking machine, just a shrinking machine.
Yeah, just a shrinking machine.
Honey, I shrank the hook cap.
It's ridiculous. Right, sorry.
It sounds huge.
Vintage mode with no deep or EQ setting.
Dial it down the volume.
Actually, you know what? Again, might have to
Makes me smile.
Might have to ask the editor to answer this question or not. I've got a feeling this A and B channel thing on here only really makes sense if it means that you can have like 16 A's and 16 B's.
Right?
So it is 32,
it's 32,
is it?
Yeah.
It's 32. It's 32 presets. That's definitely enough for the kind of blues gigs that I do. Right, let's go. Let's
do another blues-y.
Vintage now with the different EQ and the mod. This one.
I'm enjoying it, man.
You can always tell when Pete's enjoying himself. Right, now I'm just going to literally wazz it over to the modern again with the EQ in and a bit more gainless. I mean, does it gent? I mean, we'd have to send that to another famous Dutch person, Ola England. Wouldn't
amp, man.
Wow.
These are good, aren't they? They're good. They're good. They're not cheap, but they are good.
Yeah, but cheap is relative.
Cheap is
I mean,
relative.
it's like, how much would it cost you to buy 32 different guitar amplifiers?
That's true.
No,
Oh,
they're
just 16.
Do you know what? Though you say they're not cheap. I mean, they're not cheap, are they? But they're not. I was kind of surprised. Isn't the little Lenny with nothing in it? Like the basic little Lenny.
I think
Isn't
it's
it
about
like 1,500?
$2,000 for this.
$2,000 for the combo.
Yeah. But you think, okay, but let's say you're a Kemper person, or where you got all of that stuff in it.
yeah.
You buy a Kemper with a profile, or with a foot switch. That's about 1,800 quid, whatever, blah blah blah, whatever.
Then you got to buy a power amp.
If you buy it in, it depends. But
That's
once
a
you spend the
shout.
money,
Is this-
you actually get a real amp with all of these different presets in it, with various, with different.
I never even thought
variations.
about that. Are we talking about? Is this finally like the mega, like Kemper? I suppose Kemper will
not
model
Kemper, but-
more different amplifiers.
Yeah, you can get anything you want. This is not like you can
but
only
you
have
could get a
84.
lot out of this.
Yeah.
couldn't you?
What is it? 84s in here.
34.
34. Sorry. Yeah. I always mix those two up. So you won't
right.
get a 606 sound out of this, but you'll get something that comes close to it.
Yeah. You honestly, this is blooming great. I mean, again, sadly, with this kind of amplifier, it's such a small company. Chances are you might live in a country where there is no way you can go and try it. And if you live in the UK, the only place you can come to try it is Andertons. I don't know what it's like across the rest of Europe. I suspect you've probably got to drive a long way to try one. But honestly, I mean, I don't know if the sounds we've had in this video are enough to convince you just to, click to buy and we'll ship it to you. And that was the other interesting thing I found out the other day. And don't ask me why, but I've been a bit all consumed with trying to work out all things post-Brexit about taxes and stuff like that. For some reason, guitar amplifiers are exempt from duty the whole world round.
What?
I know. So I don't know. Electric guitars aren't, and acoustic guitars aren't, and guitar effects aren't, but guitar amplifiers are. So you absolutely can buy one of those from somewhere outside the UK,
And then
you
actually you might
literally
get it cheaper then.
I
don't know.
Well, you just pay the. You
the
just
input,
pay
whatever.
pay your VAT instead of our VAT, and whatever it costs
No
you to
duty.
convert the money from
Well, there you go,
pounds
then.
to your money.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
Who made that rule up? Right, we're going to jam out using the cabinet emulated
player.
outputs. So we're now going to disconnect the speakers. You can, and I should say on this front as well, you've got the choice. You can run the IR and the speaker at the same time, or you can run the IR without the speaker, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to hear it through our little studio monitors, which after what we have just heard is probably going to be totally uninspiring, but hey-ho, this is what modern guitar players do. So yeah, I'll be running through this, Pete through this, IR straight into the desk. These 16 IRs that come with it are hand-picked by Captain Hook
We'll put them
and
on.
Peter Pan, but it's a
They've
full
never
IR
heard that
loader.
before, have they?
Yeah. So, as with all these IR loadable things, go on the internet, find the 8 trillion different ones that are out there, choose your favourite one, and off we go. Favourite ones.
Just to mention
and of course,
that
sorry. And of course, you've got a storable different cab simulator for every single one of your 32 presets as well.
Yeah.
So
It's insane.
it's like Looney Tunes.
But it's worth pointing out that there is a load that you have to turn on and off on the back of the amp when you use the IR loader. Just
if you don't want the speaker
attention,
connected.
attention.
Yes.
So if you don't, put a cab in and the load is not on, you might break your amp.
Right.
But on that note,
well, I mean, maybe that's been a slightly long video, but I'm just kind of, I don't care. I mean, it's like those two amplifiers, I could listen to those for days.
Yeah.
We might even make this video needlessly longer, just
24
so
hours
that
long.
you have to listen to more of these. But it's a good
All
job.
the money goes
Hook.
to MIDI. Research.
MIDI research.
Anyway, on that note, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.
Laters.